The level of corruption that Donald Trump and his family are currently engaged in is genuinely off the charts. I mean, they had engaged in a level of corruption in the first administration, but this time it's gone to levels never seen before. And it's the kind of thing that has alarm bells ringing across the system. And we're seeing increasing amount of content now being produced, journalists writing in newspapers, and also investigative journalists writing lengthy pieces, more and more discussions going on in podcasts and forums around the extreme level of corruption that we're seeing. It's barefaced, it's unambiguous, and as I say, it is genuinely unprecedented. So let's just take for a start the stuff that he's doing, which he did in his first administration, which he's continuing to do in this administration. Unlike any president before him, Trump never recused himself from his businesses. He never formed blind trusts. He never detached the link between him and his businesses. He never sold them off. Instead, he retained them, and they were a pathway to corruption in his first administration. So, for example, as we know, he has hotels or received profits from hotels around the world. And that's a way in which foreign powers and other people can effectively bribe him by going over to stay in one of his hotels when they're making a trip to the States, let him know, and he's happy about that. So it's a way to get into his good graces so that he can make some money and the other people can let him know that they've done something that have contributed to his wealth. Remember, in the past, presidents had been so strict about this. So one of the previous presidents that had a business empire of some kind before he became president was Jimmy Carter. He had a peanut farm, and he actually went as far as to sell it off before he entered the White House, so that there was no way anybody can engage in any kind of corruption by doing some favors around his business. Very different, of course, for Trump. It is estimated that Trump's family made a few hundreds of millions from the last administration by things like this, by people buying their apartments, buying time in their hotels, and so getting in the good graces of the Trump family. This time, however, Trump and his family were convinced that they're not going to just settle for making a few $100 million. This time it has to be billions of dollars that they make. I hope you're enjoying the video. As a psychiatrist who's fascinated by the worlds of politics and economics and philosophy, I love making these videos, and if you'd like to see more of them, then please do like and subscribe and comment in this video. What you'll find is that there's a beautiful community growing up around this channel. We're all going through a national and international trauma right now because of what's happening and where our leaders are taking us. And in this channel, you'll find people honestly sharing their situation and their distress, and other people responding with kindness, empathy, and compassion. So please join this wonderful community that we're forming, join in the comments and the dialogue that's happening. And he started doing something unique. He formed his own meme coin called Trump, and people can buy that coin. Now, every time that cryptocurrency is bought and sold, the Trump family make a profit from it. They earn money from the transaction fees. And so Trump is boldly putting out competitions there, saying, if you earn a certain amount of the Trump coin, you can have a free dinner with the president and a tour of the White House. This is nakedly selling time with the president and influence. Effectively saying, if you give the president some money in his own pocket, then you can go and meet him. And research is showing that these offers seem to be taken up by foreign investors. More and more foreign companies and people are buying influence with Trump this way. And another thing it seems that the Trump family is doing is something we often refer to in the trading and financial and crypto world as pump and dump. So it appears that there are 58 accounts that hold Trump coin. That's 58 wallets, as it's known in the crypto industry. 58 wallets that hold Trump coin that have been responsible for making massive amounts of profits from it. Because what happens is they start to build up a well of excitement. They start to talk up the coin at a particular moment and say, oh, something's about to come now. This is going to hit it big. This is the time to buy, folks. So key influencers start telling people that this is the time to buy if you don't want to miss out. And of course, just before they've made those statements and influenced people to buy the coin, they have secretly bought up loads of the coin at the current level. And then as a result of their hype, the price of the coin spikes. So it goes really high. And then when it spikes at that level, these guys who created the hype and bought up the coin at the previous value, then suddenly sell it, making a huge profit, having bought low and sold very high. And then the price of the coin starts to tank and it goes back to where it was before or even lower. But they don't care because they don't lose any money. They bought low and sold high. And this seems to be happening again and again with Trump coin. Bloomberg did an investigation and they found that there are 58 wallets that are making almost all the money from Trump coin. Between them, they've made over $1.1 billion. And in the meantime, 764,000 accounts have lost money. So more than 750,000 wallets are sitting there losing money. They're basically paying money in to these 58 other wallets who are raking it in from the rest of them. So this is a modern scheme to scam all the people who you influence. And who do we think owns those 58 wallets? They're all going to be members of the Trump family. They're the ones who are spreading the hype in the first place, making the money off the pump and dump schemes. Of course we know they have disdain for their followers and their voters. And they've managed to convert that into a financial scam where they can milk them of their money, walk away with it and then laugh behind their backs. So this is another level of corruption, the likes of which we have never seen before. They're using modern technology in a way that helps them to absolutely maximize their return, the amount of money they make from being the president and the president's family. And of course, this is a very coordinated effort across government because there are a whole range of laws that are in place to try and protect people from this kind of predatory financial scamming. And they are the very laws that Trump has been repealing.
The protections that the US set up to try to deal with this are, of course, laws which Trump has suspended. So there are laws, a Foreign Agents Act, which was about trying to prevent, Russian agents or Cuban agents paying American politicians. That's been paused by Trump. Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, that's about companies going abroad paying bribes. Trump has frozen that too. Consumer Protection Acts, frozen by Trump. Procurement, the State Department has coincidentally just issued a $400 million contract to buy armored Teslas from Elon Musk. And no proper procurement process is followed. In fact, contracts offered to Musk's rifles, $2 billion contract offered to Verizon, has now been annulled, and it looks like Musk is now going to get that contract, again with no due process at all.
So you see, both Trump's friends and Trump's family members are really making the most out of this government. They talked about draining the swamp. There has never been a swamp like this before. Because you see, one of the justifications they use is that, well, the last lot were at it. Just look at what Joe Biden and Hunter Biden did. But as Anne Applebaum puts beautifully, that's not anywhere near the same galaxy, never mind the same planet.
People literally unable to see Trump's corruption. This is a theme I know you may also be interested to discuss. I have one or two friends who, during the Biden years, became very angry by what they perceived to be as Biden's corruption. Nothing that was ever proven, nothing was ever shown. There was a lot of rumors about what Hunter Biden had done or not done. As far as I can see, Biden was guilty of taking advantage of his father's name, and he got himself appointed to a couple of boards. But there is no, we're not even living in the same world. We're not even, the world in which it's very bad that Hunter Biden was on a board of a Ukrainian or any other company because of who his surname was, and the world in which the president himself is openly taking hundreds of millions of dollars in de facto bribes from all over the world. These aren't really the same planet.
You see, the thing is, when they call other people corrupt, when the Trump family calls the Biden family corrupt, they actually do believe it because it's projection. You see, projection is when there's parts of us that we don't want to own ourselves, that we then basically throw off onto other people around us so that we can belittle them, we can judge them for possessing these qualities, when in actual fact there are our qualities that we're seeing in other people who don't really have them. There's a phrase in English, the pot calling the kettle black. You're looking at your own reflection, you're not really looking at the other person. And that's why they're sitting there judging all these other people. But they believe it, you see. They actually think that this level of corruption is widespread beyond their own family. It's what helps them sustain this behavior psychologically. You see, they think that we're all dirty, we're all corrupt. And if we're not today, given the chance, then we will be tomorrow. And that's how they justify it to themselves. We're not unique in this respect. Hell, everybody's at it. It's not true, of course, not even close to being true. But that's how they rationalize it to themselves and don't feel so bad when they sleep in their silk sheets at night. But while they believe that, it's really important that we don't. It's really important that we don't get infected by the idea they have in their mind that everybody is the same, because everybody is not the same. What is happening is truly unprecedented. We've never seen theft at this scale in the American system by the head of state and his family. Like in so many other areas, we are truly entering uncharted territory. We really are entering a kleptocracy now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope we can stay in touch so that you can continue receiving my videos and my content on an ongoing basis. The best way to do that is to follow the link in the description of this video and the description of the channel. And once you do that, you'll be able to complete a form that helps you to sign up to my regular email newsletter. That way you can receive updates about my content on an ongoing basis. You see, in this day and age, almost all the platforms are owned by a small number of oligarchs, and at any moment, based on a whim, they could decide to shut down a channel like this. And if they do, then we'll lose all the subscribers. So I've set up this email newsletter as almost as a safeguard, so that we can always stay in touch whatever happens to the platform, so you can always find out where to locate and view my content. Now, on top of that, I've started to produce with my team some regular ebooks around self-help to help us in this difficult time through this kind of global trauma that we're all going through at the moment. Now, the books are based on helping people to understand the psychology of the leaders around us, the psychology of the system that we're in, but also helping to understand ourselves too, so that we're better equipped to navigate this world and navigate this difficult time. If you go to russellsbooks.com, you'll be able to find a growing catalogue of self-help ebooks there. That's russellsbooks.com. Now finally, you can also join and become a member of this channel. If you just press join on the channel page, you can become a member, and all members actually get all of these ebooks for free. I'm going to produce roughly one a month, and you'll get them all for free if you become a channel member. You can also get things like priority responses to comments, and you can get a members only chat page within the sort of members section as well. So I hope you might consider joining as a member, but either way, on any of these levels, through buying the books or through signing up for the newsletter, we can stay in touch and keep this connection going. Work our own way through this period that we're in, so that we can ultimately create a better tomorrow together. Thank you.